My name is Eduardo, and today I'll be talking about 5 amazing things the world should know about Mexican culture. So, my 5 topics are about sports, traditions, movies, music, and food. Football is definitely my most favorite sport just because I grew up with watching a lot of football in my life and also played a lot when I was younger. But yeah, football is it's not just a sport in Mexico, but it's a way of life. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people come together and watch, specific events like the Super Clásico, which is America versus Chivas. But what I really like about soccer is that so many people in Mexico are brought together. Like the way they play, you can have different play styles. You play in different positions, and it's really enjoyable to watch. So we have Day of the Dead, and it's one of the most important holidays in Mexico. It's celebrated every November 1st and 2nd of the year. What makes this holiday unique is that there's no other country where people celebrate and reflect on the past of their loved ones. So basically, the skulls, in general, are represented as bravery as a life and death. So over here we have altars, and altars are made up of skulls, candles, photos, and loved ones. We did one this year, and it was great because every time I would see it, I would see my loved ones, my past family members, and remember my roots. So we have Cinco de Mayo, which originated in Puebla. So a lot of people think that this is Mexico's Independence Day, but it's actually not. It's about how there was a war in Mexico, Puebla, where 2,000 soldiers faced about 6,000 French troops, and Mexico claimed victory. It's not celebrated a lot in Mexico, but it is in Puebla. My dad is from Puebla, and as someone who is from there, he is proud of being from that state because there's a lot of history behind Puebla, and especially because of this holiday in general. So now for my third topic, I'll be talking about movies in Mexico. So for movies, I picked my favorite Mexican movie. So this mom uh, is with this kid at first, and she moves to the U.S. to find jobs there, and she eventually stays there. The kid is stuck with his grandma, and unfortunately, the grandma passes away, so he has nowhere to go. Why I picked this movie? Just because not only is it so iconic, but it also represents a lot of people in Mexico, especially a lot of immigrants, because this woman goes to the US and she finds a good job there, so she stays there. And so the kid is left alone and has to find his way over to the US. So he goes on this journey with this guy that he met when he was like walking down the road. And so they both had the same objective of going to the US. So it was a pretty cool movie just because it kind of shows that anything is possible. And this movie was rated as one of the best in Mexico. So what I love about Mexican rock is I've been listening to it for many years, and my parents really enjoy listening to older rock, and especially the 2000s. So over here, this is my favorite rock album. It came out in 2006. It's like a unique piece in Mexican rock just because this is one of the most Mexican sold albums of all time. And then on the far right, we have also a very known band which is called Caifanes, which is a group from the 1980s. And so they brought a lot of people together because back then rock wasn't really popular at all. People really didn't listen to it as much until this group came along, and they're very influential to a lot of Mexicans. So we have tacos, and tacos is my favorite food in general, and it's definitely a favorite for a lot of Mexicans. So you can eat them you can make the tortillas homemade, which makes the taco even better. But that takes like an hour or two to make. But typically people would just buy tortillas from the store and just heat it up. So over here we have some quesadillas, and these ones are particular and made up of jackfruit, which are kind of different from regular tacos because tacos consist of meat and jackfruit is not really a meat, so vegan homemade food, and it's different from regular tacos just because tacos like made are made up of cow and animals. But if you want like a vegan substitution, you can get something like this, which I really like. So that was it for me, and that was the end of my presentation. And here are my research and references. And yeah, thank you guys for listening.